So we're so Reese is going to be pulling up his back office right now and sharing screen. And what we're going to do is cover three different things with you this morning that kept coming in last week. Let's begin with one that was a company error. They switched up the packs in the back office, and we're going to just go look at these packs real quick. They do have it corrected now. But a lot of people don't know this, but globally, to include Canada, you can set, if you're an officer above, if you're not an officer, you will not see this in your back office. You have to be officer above to even have it in your back office. But if you are, there's going to be a little icon on the left side of the screen that will allow you to set packs for your entire downline to see. Everybody knows when you first go to enrollment, there's going to be 2 to 3 to 4 packs that are suggested packs. So you can set that. Let's just say that in Canada, you set that as a 10 pack, and then maybe you go over there and put 3 10 packs in another one. So you'd have a 30 pack in Essential, the same as the US. Maybe down here in the US, I know I've got groups that do the 888 pack, 8 MOA, 8 Renew, 8 Skinny Drops, and I've got others that do the 30 pack for the big packs. And then, for the small pack, you can set 2 there. But if you're an officer or above, and somebody sets that above you, if for some reason you don't want to do that, you can reset for your whole organization. I encourage everybody to work together as much as possible and try to keep the same message going. That just makes all of our meetings run better. And I'm not your dictator, nor is your upline. So you're your own business. You get to do what you want. But I will tell you, cohesiveness does help, but it's not always going to always work that way. So there's no shame in changing it if that's what you're determined to do. But I will tell you to self-evaluate that if your business is not moving like others are moving, maybe you should see how theirs are set. So that's just a little food for thought. But saying that, Reese, I'm going to turn it to you now to kind of go through that.
Yeah, I'll just include on that, Todd. You say officer and above, and then so let's just take in my example. If I set my packs right now, I've got it set up for Canada. So what I'm going to do is I click my 3 lines, whether I'm in dashboard or whatever. I'm going to go to my business and I'm going to click product packs. Right now, I'm set for Canada. I'm going to go back and do US in just a second, but I've already got those set. But I want to let you see how to do this. So inside of this, I highly recommend, because most of us, 99% of us, are running the system of growth, and that's all based on drops. So that's signing up with a 4-pack, a 10-pack, or a 30-pack. So those are the ones that you want first in yours. But again, as Todd said, it's your business, whatever. However, but if I put mine in, say I put right now, I'm going to go ahead and add my activated value, which is a 4-pack. So I'm going to click this. I just search accelerate, because hopefully this will show up. Maybe it won't, because this is Canada. There we go. No. It's day and night drops. Somebody help me out there. Christy, where you at there? So it's day and night drops. So for day and night drops, I'm going to hit add. All right. And when I do that, I'm going to hit confirm. Here's the drop down. Remember, we want to do a 4-pack here. So I'm going to drop down and hit the 4 boxes. All right, that is set now to a 208 PV 500. That is part of the system of growth. That is our 4-pack that we use. So I'm going to set that. All right, there's also a 10-pack. 10-pack is 500 PV. So I want to do the same thing here. I'm going to add additional pack. I'm going to do actually day and night drops, since this is Canada. I'm going to do ours in US in just a second. So I'm going to add again, confirm, and then I'm going to select the 10 box. Now in the US, I'm going to show you we have the 30-pack. All right. So now that's set. So when somebody does the enrollment, and we'll see in just a second, when somebody does the enrollment, they get a link from me, those are going to be the packs they originally see. However, if Joni comes in and says, I want my people to see different, or she changes it by accident, they're going to see whatever Joni says. And then anybody in Christy's downline, because she's officer and above, if she changes it, they're going to see what Christy says. So that's where Todd's saying work together. And I highly recommend, sticking with a system of growth, 4, 10, and 30 packs. And then I'll show you in the US. So let's show you what that looks like in the enrollment process. So if I come in here and I'm going to enroll a new person, when I click enroll new person and I hit next, it's gonna, you want to hit, I will always want placement queue. That's just where I go. This is where it's going to show up. Now I've got a 4-pack right here, and then I've got the 10-pack right here. So they have the selection, 4-pack or 10-pack, because remember, we do not have 30 packs in Canada. So if you wanted to do a 30-pack in Canada, you just change that to 3, add the bag, and your customer's ready to go. Hope that explains it. I'm going to now show it. Todd, you want to add anything while I'm switching over
No,
to the
just
US?
that I saw some things going through the chat. Yeah, you have, this will not even show up in your back office if you're not officer. So if you're not officer, you just get no opinion yet, for the growth of the business. You have to wait, you get more knowledge than you have on day one. You can always, when you get there, click on other products and go a different route. And tomorrow, we were going to do it today, but since I got to train on the IPA, we're going to do this tomorrow. We're going to show you how to create smart links tomorrow. So generally speaking, if I'm working with a brand new person, I go, matter of fact, we did this with some of our new people in Utah. I went into their back offices with them and we set a $29.95 only sign up, because sometimes we just need to get somebody in the system before we put somebody else in. I put a $29.95 a 4-pack, $29.95 10-pack, and a $29.95 30-pack. That way I've always got every brand new person I've got has always got those smart links. And by the way, we do the 888 pack down here in the States, 8 MOA, 8 Renew, and 8 Skinny Drops. That is needed at times when people don't want to sell on social media. And like, we don't have to force somebody to do that. They can go another route here. We don't have to put every single person in that system, because you don't want to miss people. They can be great doing it the traditional way. So like, we set those smart links up and I show them, we save them in their notes. And then all they got to do is copy and paste when they're ready to sign somebody up, because the smart links are always good. And you make sure when you do the smart links, you use placement queue only, and then you'll be able to go place them after that.
Yeah, I can show that real quick. But just as Todd said, here in the US, we use the 888 pack. So I put it down here. So what's going to happen when you enroll people? It's going to show them the first three that you have. So if you put another activated, like you could come in here and put the MOA Renew Plus pack, which would be a 200 PV pack, but it's going to bump the 30 pack. And I'll show you what I mean there. But this is how the system of growth works. I did the same thing. I added a pack. I'm gonna search. I always just search for accelerate just because it makes it pop up. You're gonna click on this one, and when you click, it's going to give the same thing, the drop down. So for activated value, I have a 4-pack. For business value, I've got the 10-pack, and then for ultimate, I have this 1500. And then because we do a lot of 888s with a certain group that we have, I've got this set here, so it's just a load more. So the way that looks, once you have these three set, and you can set as many as you want, and well, I don't know as many as you want, but you can set quite a few of them, but it's going to show the first three starting at activated value. So if you have an additional activated value in here, it's going to show that one and bump your 30 pack. So here you go. I'm going to enroll here in the US. So enroll a new brand partner. I'm going to next, as Todd said, placement queue. This is where you can also, if you want to set the one, I'll do that real quick too. I'll set a smart link based on this. But this is good for duplication. So now you can see we've got my 208 PV for activated. I've got a 500 PV for the 10-pack, and then I've got the 30-pack. If I'm doing an 888, all they have to do is hit the load more, and then there's the 888. So it will show you more if you wanted to do that. But the drops running the system of growth is what you need there, because then your downline can duplicate. And then personally, as Todd was saying, if I want to do a 10-pack for somebody, if I want a 10-pack link, I'm going to add that to bag from right here. And then that's in my bag. I got a bunch of stuff right here. And then I can't get to my smart. Hold on, I got to move that. Now I'm going to click Smart Link at the top. When I click Smart Link, now that 10-pack's been added. I can name this 10-pack US enroll, whatever you want to name it. Do not put a pin in. You don't have to put a pin, because if you put a pin, this will actually expire in 30 days. And they are going again. You have to send a pin when you sit. So don't put a pin in here unless you're putting in personal information. Generate link, and then that link is right there. And now you can copy that. You can save that QR code, put it on a business card, whatever, and that is going to be your 10-pack sign up link every single time. But you want these set so that duplications, as people are adding underneath you, as your team's building, that just defaults to this in case somebody doesn't know how to set up that smart link or whatever it is. They're always got the selection of the 4th, the 10, and the 30-pack. Todd?
Yeah, actually, Paulson, why don't you say out loud what you just said on the chat?
I said, don't put a pin in when you're creating a smart link. It will expire.
Yep.
So just, it'll ask for it, but it's not needed. Just go click next without putting it in there. That way
Yep.
your smart links will not expire.
And you can also set subscription packs the same exact way. So subscription packs for me, I have mine set up with Moa Renew. I think 2 packs of drops, and then maybe so you can set it up the exact same way. So that way your subscription, most people, I try to set them up on Mow and Renew. Again, this is your team. I like having the subscription packs. I like getting people on subscriptions right when they sign up. It's a lot easier to handle at that point. Otherwise, you're chasing weeks, you're chasing getting people on subscriptions and looking at reports. There's so much of a higher success rate of people staying on subscriptions if you can get them on the subscription at this point. Anything to add there, Todd?
No, I think that's it. So the other thing we're going to show you this morning is this. So maybe this is the most important statement I could ever say on a call like this, is that just because you're not having success does not mean others are not having success or the company's not having success. So I think we've got a couple of people that are really prominent on social media that are leaving the company, but I knew they weren't having success because they don't build personal relationships. Without personal relationships, you're never going to have a business. Like if it's all done through funnels and social media, there's no friendships, there's no community, and there's no loyalty. So like you've got to build relationships around the social media stuff. So that being said, no matter what your business did, we learned in Utah that May was the largest month the company's ever had. Like the company is freaking exploding around the world. Number two, there is a group here that they're title advancing like no tomorrow. So we just had a new lady named Dr. Laura. She hasn't even been here 2 months yet. She just went CEO in Ohio. And then Stacy, who signed her up, she just went, Stacy went CEO, who signed up Dr. Laura, and she's been here less than a year. And then Dr. Laura just went senior officer in less than 60 days up in Ohio. Stacy's down in Florida. We're going to highlight them next Monday for everybody to meet. But one of the questions that group has had for me this week is how to count personal volume or preferred customer volume for title advancement, because it does not get added in. So what Reese is going to do is go to the dashboard real quick. You do have a dashboard that will show a little bit of volume up there,
Yep,
Reese?
that's right there. It's right. Can you not see it?
I don't have my glasses on. Okay.
You want me to? I'll zoom it in. How about that?
Yeah. Would it be bad to go run your volume report? Can we look
Here,
at it there?
I've got our training account that we use. I'll use for right there if you want me
Okay.
to.
Yeah. If you could do
And
that,
it
that'd
has
be
some
awesome.
volume. So first thing we'll look at, and Todd, you can talk through it too, but we'll look at the volume too. But you've got your personal volume, PC volume, and over here's your auto balance, and we'll explain what all that means in just a second. So I'm going to go to my my money, and then volume. This is the report. Don't use the widget on the back office with the volume report because it's calculating with your carryover volume. I just never use that just because I want to know the health of my lines, and this is how you can see it. All right, Todd, go ahead.
Okay. So when you see that little bar pop up on your dashboard that says you're X number of points away from your next title advancement, whatever that might be, you can always go here. This is the most accurate place to look at numbers. So you'll see here, and it's all title advancements are based upon pay line volume minus like the first 3 or 4 that are just based upon your paycheck. But you can see there, line 1 pay line has 4501 in it. Line 3, the other pay line has 200, so you're at 4701. But so that is always on real time, and that is always accurate. However, if you look in the top right, there's one that says personal volume and preferred customer volume. The only personal volume that does not count toward title advancement is your 100-point auto ship. So let's just pretend that was an auto ship for this particular person. 45 of those points would count. So you could add 45 more to that. But like I was looking in accounts all week long for some of these Arbonne ladies, and some of them had like 2,000 preferred customer volume. They got smart links out there, people ordering on them. They had other personal volume. They placed orders, different things. So any number above that 100 points on personal volume or preferred customer volume, that at Friday night at midnight will be added in to your weakest pay leg. And those volume points do count toward your 15% unlimited pay, unless it's the first month you get 30% if you're at top pay. But after that, it's going to be counting toward your 15% base pay. But most importantly, every one of those volume points will be counting toward your title advancement, but you must physically or mentally add those in yourself. It will not do it for you. You have to calculate that yourself.
Todd, it actually is adding it in as of like yesterday.
Oh, where's it added in at?
See, right here, 47. If you look at the line right here, You've got the 4501 and the 200. So you got 4701, and then it's adding in the other 45 right here.
Okay, so
That
we've
is
been asking
brand
for this
new.
forever. So you're saying that
Yes.
launched yesterday, Reese?
Well, I'm guessing so because it was not there this weekend because I had to figure out the same thing. The thing you have to remember about auto balancing is if you have two close lines, also Todd, and I don't want to get too deep in the weeds with it, but auto balance can change because it's going to balance out your line. So if you've got two lines that are running almost identical, say 1,000 and 1,000 PV, and you've got personal volume of 150, it's going to split that so that it's going to pay you the most, but that's the only time you might not get full auto balance on your PC. But in this case, you can see this person has qualifying. They had to have the 100 that Todd was talking about. So 100 minus the 145 is 45. So you're going to get paid base commission on that 45. It is going to move it into a pay line for you. And it is calculating it right now. That could change tomorrow. But I think they've got it straight because it's something we have been asking for in IT committee for a long time. But that is the title. If for some reason you want to double check that, as Todd said, take that 45 because that's your auto balance. Go to your My Money, go to volume, and then take that 4501 plus 200 plus the 45, which would be 4746. And that's how much you have towards title advancement.
All right, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so this won't make a lot of sense if you're brand new, but for you leaders out there, this is the reason that if somebody wants me to tell them how I prefer to build, I like to build 3 legs because when people are trying to title advance, if they only have 2 legs, you sometimes get caught in a quandary because if you go to place an auto balance order and or place an order on somebody on your business down there, it can flip a leg. So if you've got 3 legs growing and you're trying to title advancement, there's always going to be out of the 3 a place you can put volume where it wouldn't flip anything, and all volume you place would count. But only on 2
Todd,
legs.
let me
Okay.
show something real quick if you don't mind on that because it can flip your leg and it can change your title advancement. Right now it's saying this remaining is 15,254. Let's say on this account, all of a sudden that volume came in on your leg 1. What happens to that? Well, it flips your lines and now it changes
Don't have your screen
because
read.
you don't have the screen?
No.
We just see your
wrong shot.
desktop. We just see your desktop.
Thank you. You don't have the screen? There you go.
wrong.
How about that? Thank you. There you go. How about that? Now I'm echoing. All right. Okay. Sorry about that. So if you had like right here, the remaining is 15,254 for this person to hit president because they have 4. But if that volume was in the pay lines, what would that do? If it could possibly, if I go into volume and I look at that, it can possibly flip your lines. And this is where people will get really discouraged. So you have to watch this piece. Let's just say there was no carryover volume right here, and this line went to 8,000. If it became my power line, now I've got to have more PV than what that tracker's telling me because it flips my line. It doesn't take into consideration that your line is not optimized, or it's taken in consideration that line is going to stay your power line. Does that make sense? If you flip that line, it changes the amount of PV that you need. I hope that makes sense. That may be a little confusing.
It is confusing, but you got to work through this. And like I think I saw John put in there, ask your upline. Like when you're dealing with this, just talk to somebody that's got you signed up, your sponsor or above them. Somebody always understands this. But we're going to talk about it a little bit more frequently. This video is Sarah just put in the thread. Will be on YouTube. So Sarah, let's stop recording and let's switch over to this IPA.